Okay. Go ahead, ladies. But you're not going to be able to zoom in or out.
No.
Shit.
You got it?
Everybody say hi.
Hello. We on or what?
Yes.
Can you zoom in over here a little bit, or I can stand? Let me get over.
Butch.
Huh?
I figured it out.
Figured it out. Oh, I knew you would. All right, let me go through some explanations. Folks, thank y'all for joining us. I hope we can. Hope we have some information that's going to help somebody in the future. You know, the guard dog industry is probably the least known. It's a little mysterious. There's a bit of a stigma attached. Most of the guys over the years that I did it, we don't do commercials. We don't go on TV. We're not ADT security systems. We're not doing exhibits at the county fair, but it's a really effective way to keep your stuff safe. And the more I'm into the civilian world, the more I'm starting to understand there are things that we do drastically different that are really simple. So I get a lot of questions about the guard dog industry. So what we're going to try to do tonight is I'm going to mention some things that are the way we train, the way I learned. Some of these things are things that I came up with. Some of them are things that other trainers or other guard dog company owners came up with. But I want to stress one thing. When we're working a guard dog, we're working a dog who has to possibly stop a man all by himself and stay safe from that man retaliating for 5 or 6, 7 hours, depending. We're going to take a dog to a location, we're going to drop him off, we're going to drive off and leave him. And we're going to be back there at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. And if there's a break-in, that dog's on his own. So a lot of the things we want our dog to do are not going to be the things that you would want in a police dog or in a competition ring sport dog or Schutzhund dog. They're going to be things that we have to teach our dog to do it on their own. I like to think of my guard dogs as canine martial artists. On this segment, we're going to show you some equipment we use, a couple of the things we work with the dogs, the way we start young dogs, and we're going to go to a couple of advanced dogs. And we're going to mostly show you the kind of dogs you can make into guard dogs. First thing I want to emphasize is this. You're going to see mostly dogs that are going to be 85 to 105 pounds. I had a security company that we did canine patrols and we had mals. But guard dogs, the first efficient requisite is you need a dog big enough to stop a man, period. The next thing you need is you need a dog that bites so damn hard that the minute somebody gets got by one, they're going to go to the ground. When that dog bites that man, I want to see scars on his grandkids. That's the only way a dog stays safe for 4 or 5 hours with a burglar on scene with nothing in his mind but getting rid of that dog and getting out of there. So we're going to show you some things over the next 2 weeks that may be a little different, but remember, we've got a little different goal than some of the stuff that you're used to seeing. So with that, here's our main tool to start all guard dogs. Burlap sack. It does a whole lot of things for you that we're going to go over in just a few minutes. It's great for starting puppies, and we start our puppies. Here's the first thing that I do. When we had pups we were training, I can take a pup like this one, and by the time she's 6 months old, how old is she now, Mina, you know? 13 weeks. 13 weeks old with this one right now. By the time she's 24 weeks old, she will be able to do a complete patrol dog routine. She'll send, she'll bite, she'll out, she'll guard, the whole thing. And it all starts with this. So here's where we're going to start it. When you start off, you're going to have your sack dead in your hands. For taller folks, you're going to have it behind your back out of sight. the handler is going to give a command. And when that handler gives the command, the agitator is going to start the game. We want our dog at this age to start associating the game starts with this command. We'll show you this one, and we'll show you one that's a little further along.
Ready?
Proceed, folks.
Traveler. Lost ball.
Hey!
Whoops. There you go.
Good girl.
Now she's working the dog. You notice we've got the pup on the ground pulling. And that's a big, I've had a lot of people tell me I sure shouldn't have these dogs pulling. They ought to push into the bite, push into the bite. I'll explain all that near the end.
Out.
But the main thing we want in the beginning is for this pup to have all four on the floor. And we want them to start learning how to pull a man off his feet. I just gave you the reason we do the pulling rather than the pushing.
You got it.
So the pup's getting excited when Scott gives the command. The handlers always give the command loud enough for the agitator to hear them. The dog will hear it real fine.
There we go.
Now you see how full that bite is? You see how she's fighting back? Now she's trying to tear it up, take it away. A dog that's not going to fight a man
Good
is
girl.
going to be a dead dog in the morning. So,
One more.
now go ahead and get, you
Okay.
want to do one more? You want to do a send with her?
You can try it, yeah.
Have we done a send? We ever done a send with her?
Give me that.
Nina?
Give me that.
This is our champ. She's our main agitator and our only puppy starter. So now we ain't never tried this. We're just going to see what happens.
Watch it, watch
We're going to send this little Western Shepherd.
Watch it go. Watch it go.
See if
Lost
she'll
ball.
go after her. Yeah, she goes after her. Whoa!
Good girl. Good girl.
She is
Good
with
girl.
authority.
Good girl. Good girl.
There you go.
Flip it.
We got a 13-week-old pup and a 7-year-old agitator. Y'all didn't know you was going to kindergarten tonight, did you?
Switch out, Carol.
So now we're going to bring one a little bit older. Well,
Are you
a lot
helping
older.
the dog?
And we're going to show you a little bit more of how the purpose. One of the things you'll see, where's Rick at? There's Rick.
Thank you,
You're
Kerry.
working areas, right? When you're in the guard dog business, getting product dogs can be difficult.
No.
You got to get mean dogs, or you got to get controllable dogs, or you got to get, something that looks like a mean,
We're working on
angry
it.
dog. So there's a lot of training, and what I discovered was in order to have enough dogs always on hand to fill the jobs, we had to take dogs that
Oh,
some people wouldn't consider,
Easy.
bite dogs at all, and we had to get them to work. We had to get them to bite. So
Come on.
there's several things that we do. So in my opinion, when someone says it's all genetics, you got to have a this breed or that breed. After more than a few decades of doing this, I can tell you, I had Springer Spaniels that would bite like a banshee. So there is ways to get them up, and I always like to give credit where credit's due. If I learned something from someone else, in this case, my hat's off to a guy named Gary Patterson, who was one of America's top Schutzen trainers for years and years. Wrote a lot of good Schutzen books. In our video about the top 5 books for every dog trainer to own, his Schutzen Bite Workbook is the best book ever written on starting a dog and getting a dog to be a powerful biter. Bar none, the most important, informative book I ever read. The pattern he uses to go after dogs worked perfect for guard dogs. We'll do what I call a Zorro pattern. We never go straight at the dog. That can push them into defense. But we can't run away and do prey drive, because if we run away, they can't catch us. So what Mr. Patterson did was split the difference, run it diagonals. You're going to see us stop and start. When you stop, you can IF in the dog, pushing him into defense, making sure he'll stand. If he starts to quiver, or back up, you immediately move back to quick, sharp moves for prey So you're working both drives. You're balancing both in each drives and bringing them up to a high level of excitement. And with that, let's try, the champ's over there talking to Daddy.
What?
You got everything ready?
That's it, way.
Rick Miller come down from Washington State to help us with
Give me
this
my
one. Rick, you're on. Give your
Give
command
me
loud.
Lost ball.
And that's the reaction we're looking for when the handler gives a command. You saw this dog glancing over to the side, but whoa, the minute he heard the command, the dog turned and faced our agitator. Now you see how full that bite is, and you see this dog fighting to take that man
Good
off his
boy.
feet.
Good boy. Good boy.
But he's not hanging on to the sack and carrying it around like his rabbit. He actually spit it out because with this pattern, we're balancing our prey and
Good
our
boy.
defense. They're not so prey driven that they just don't want to let go of their prize. And you can fine tune each one of your drives
That's it, way.
with this pattern.
That's it. That's it.
Carol Ann, put the camera on Rick. Let's give everybody a better
Easy,
view of how
easy.
he moves up to the dog.
Ready?
All right.
Harry, lost ball.
We'll go in just a little bit closer. Now he's right there where he shouldn't be. And I'm not sure, but old Aries might outweigh Rick. I'm not real sure. Good job, Rick. So, thank you, sir. So that's a little bit of
Come here. Good boy. It's a good boy.
sort of different, unique things we do. We use the whip to stimulate the
Bon garçon,
dog.
petit bonhomme. Viens,
We're going to use
No,
these
viens,
patterns
viens,
to
viens,
keep making the dog think it's could be a serious system or situation. By using this pattern as we move forward at a diagonal, we're not running at him and we're not running away. We can use quick movements of our arms to keep the dog's attention on us and to
Good
stimulate
boy.
prey drive. Then when needed, we can stop and challenge the
Good boy.
dog
Come
with
here.
our eyes.
Come here. Good boy.
There's a reason that dogs are the most effective security system that there is for any era, any day, any time. Think about this. When dogs meet and they're maybe not getting along, the fight is initiated with eye stares, right? They're IFing each other. And the first one to look away is the loser. And if nobody looks away, there's a fight, right? So in doglish, as I like to call it, dog body language, a steady gaze or hard stare is a challenge. Now what does a human do, especially if he's up to no good? When it's nighttime, he's slipping along by a fence looking for a place where he wants to cut the wire or jump over. And all of a sudden, some big old 100-pound Western Shepherd runs up the fence and looks up at him. Like, what are you doing here? Well, human nature says, I'm going to stare at you and I'm going to watch you as I kind of slip away, because if I take my eyes off of you, you might bite me. So human nature makes us stare at a dog. Doggy nature makes them take that as a challenge. So now this stranger on this territory has
Thank you.
just challenged this dog. It's human nature and it works every time to alert the dog that this person's a problem. Whoa! Now, speaking of which, we're going to go to, let's start her with a puppy sleeve so we can show them everything. This is a 11-month-old Western Shepherd. We started her like we start all the others, like you saw starting that other one. We're going to show you two different sleeves. Sleeves play a huge part in guard dog training, huge. Because remember, suits are great, wonderful. I hope everybody loves using them. But what we're looking for is a intensely hard bite. Sleeves all have different designs, and every different design has a different purpose. We use every form of sleeve there is to make sure that our dogs have a bite that is literally bone crushing. We're going to start with this young pup on a puppy sleeve, and then we'll go to where the next step would be. Whenever you're ready, ladies and gentlemen. There's your alert. So we have an aggressive action the minute he gets a command. That's to run the person off and hopefully avoid a bite. Now he's going to get there and judge. You see how full that bite is? Work her back. Oh, you're going to... Huh?
She's fine.
Well, don't pull her. Just
put that wedge on there and give her some work.
That's the other thing. We're just discussing with Rick. When he was saying that she might have bit her tongue or something, she kind of whimpered. When we have our dogs, we're going to get them on the ground, always, first thing, 4 feet on the floor, okay? Then when they're on the ground, we want them to try and pull us off our feet. We're going to give, and then we're going to take. When we bring them back to us, we're going to stare at them, to challenge them, to make them want to pull harder. Pull in, stare, let them win, pull harder. You'll see the action right here. Go.
Big difference.
That's why I said that.
Sleeve behind you, sleeve behind you. There we go.
Work her. There you bring her up.
Bring her up. There you go. Now back. Let her give, 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 give. Now back. Now give and win. Give, give, give.
Can't get his arm out.
Couldn't get his arm out. Yeah. All right, now, when we're trying to move our dogs from that puppy sleeve up, we're trying to get them up. The goal is to get to the Marburg barrel sleeve. We'll show you some of those later.
Go ahead. I'm gonna bump it up a notch.
We're going to have to get them to open up and bite something that's hard. And you know, we expect our dogs just to go do this. Well, you know, there's nerves in your mouth, right, Scott?
Yes.
And you go clunk on a hard wooden wedge or trial bar, because they're made out of wood mostly, it can hurt them. So we want to ease them to that point, and we do that with a big wedge, which also helps them open their mouth. Watch the fullness of this dog's bite. Behind you, there you go. Sleeves always out of sight behind you. There we go. Woo. You see how wide open that mouth is? Two, and give. Give. Is she not pulling?
Good job.
Kind of staying there.
Okay. If you hit that situation where your dog's just standing there, what you want to do is make sure you turn completely sideways. And Rick has a low samurai style. I like to stand up and pull the dog up. The other thing I want to try to get him to do on this last pass is when you make your pass, slow down, watch what you're doing, keep the sleeve behind your back the whole time, and when you get set, just pop it up, but don't bend over. We want our dogs to learn how to come high center mass, just like you shoot a weapon. We can explain all that later. And if you have questions, please start writing them in. Now just trot through it, stop, use your eyes to get the dog defensive, and then move with some prey. Stop, you're coming too far. This side. Now pop it up, pop it up. There you go. Did you hear that thud, I hope? Whoops, he stepped on her toes. He does that a lot. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Now she can move her feet. Now let her win. Good.
I'm a bad dancing partner.
That's that, yeah. I was gonna say. I thought she bit her tongue when at first. I just realized you stomped her damn toes again.
Still loves me.
But to that point, on our guard dogs, that's one thing. Once they're into the bite, that's one thing we're going to do differently than.
You put her up.
French
Come back
ring
and
dog,
grab the other
or
dog.
IPO dog, or any of them. So we want to reach over, tap their toes. The dogs are real sensitive. Their feet are their main defense mechanism when they're in defense drive. When you hurt their toes, they get worried. If a burglar wants to get, just for those of you who may be all good guys, if a dog bites you and you want to get him off of you,
You
stomp
sit down,
his
Rick.
toes first thing.
There's a dog coming in here.
6 or 7 out of every 10 dogs will turn loose immediately.
You nervous?
Now this is one of our intermediate. This is a dog. These are all personally owned dogs. They're all Western Shepherds, but every one of these dogs will make it as a professional guard dog. Every one of these dogs will have the ability. If that bite is bone crushing enough, like I said, that person's going to go to the ground and curl up in a fetal position, and he ain't going to move. That dog is safe. The only thing you have to worry about, well, I won't tell you what you have to worry about because I don't want to inform anybody. Back him up a little bit. This is Zeke. Oh, Mina's hiding behind a tree and he don't know what that's about.
Nope. Easy.
Oh my goodness. Carrie, nobody wants to move. This is a trial bar sleeve. Now, this is not acceptable behavior to me for my dogs. This dog should not be excited just because he comes on the training field. I totally disagree with all that. But I don't own the dog.
You bring him up. Joe, bring him up.
Let's go with it. Let's go with him, Scott, quick as we can. Go fast.
Hey!
Whoa.
Look at me.
Thought he had your belly there, buddy.
Yeah, he got me.
He did get you? Oh,
No.
okay. And that's, I know a lot of decoys and agitators, decoys and helpers that think they've been dog bit, but when you're playing this game the way we play the game, you've got a good chance of getting dog bit. What do you want to do, Scott? Listen to the impact when he hits.
Yeah. Hey!
Yep, see now the clatter stick. So let's bring up the different tools. The whip is used in the beginning to get a dog's attention. The clatter stick is used to intimidate. This dog had never seen a clatter stick before. And you see what happens. So that's one of the tools we're going to introduce, because once they're used to this clatter stick, we can use it to intimidate. With intimidation, we can put them into defense even though they're in the middle of a bite and all their prey drive's going. Once we switch from prey to defense, now we're going to automatically increase the function of the bite or power of the bite. Hey Rick, get that stick. We're going to come back and give this dog a win because he had a bad experience. We done?
I'm good.
Huh?
Good? Give him a bite. Go ahead. Come on. He's good.
Okay, in case you couldn't hear me over the barking, that was a confidence building. For me, for a guard dog, when they come on a field, they should be calm and well behaved. Period. The young lady who owns this dog doesn't necessarily have the same. Hey, Laura, let him carry it to the car. Go ahead and put him up.
Okay.
So he's carrying this sleeve. His prey right there, he just spit it out. Now he's going to pick it up again. So he's just got his prey drive through the roof. He would not be a suitable guard dog. Too much prey drive, not enough defense. We need a dog, a defensive dog, when you use that clatter stick, is going to bite harder if you've taught him how to choose fight over flight. And you can teach that. The reason you just saw right there, the perfect reason why American trainers quit using defense to train their sport dogs. And maybe even their police dogs, I don't know. You always run the risk of flight when you're doing defense. But it's like any other learned action you want from a dog. You can teach them that fight option is a better option than the flight option. We use a clatter stick for that. And this is where we probably drastically differ from any other median you've ever seen. We work our dogs, we get their prey drive up, then we introduce our defense drive, but we do it in a way that guarantees we're not going to have any flight. So this is one of our advanced dogs. We're going to give him a couple of what we call decompression bites. Then we'll show you one of our not guard dog things we teach our patrol dogs. You ready? Alert.
Hey! Hey!
This is this is Bullet. You notice Scott just walked straight toward him. You don't have to build this dog up.
Come on.
This is one of our, also one of our sires in our Western Shepherd project. Now you can see this dog's into it. He says shh, and he shuts up.
Hey!
Yeah. Now again, we do not want a dog hanging in the air off somebody's armpit. We want, because that leaves the dog totally helpless. You can reach over and grab his collar. You can just fall on top of the dog. You can do all sorts of things.
Two enough?
You want me to
Yeah.
go? You're going to go down there?
I'm going to stand here in front of the camera, go to the fence.
So you see Bullet putting everything he's got into
Where you going?
pulling this man off his feet. Now we're going to do something that you'll see like in a USPCA patrol dog certification. He's pumped. He's excited. Now we're going to do, is that far enough you think, Scott?
Huh?
You think you're far enough away?
Carol, can you get it all the way from over here? That's good.
We're going to see how well, you're good. We're going to see how much control she's got over this dog. Go, Carrie, go. Well, we thought we would.
We'll do it again.
Run!
It's all right.
No.
Out. We'll do it
Bullet,
again.
that's twice you failed me on that. Gonna try it again?
Yep. Do it again, Carrie.
He's too
Go down
pumped.
there? No.
No.
Go back.
We're gonna try one more, folks, just because we're determined to show off tonight. So, yeah, I think you need to call off sooner, Kerry. His momentum, he couldn't help it. The handler's always, see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now when he tries to
Boy.
leave, he gets stopped.
You moved,
So-
you moved last time.
I know.
The handler has a huge job when
too?
you're going to
Come on,
patrol
Lisa.
dogs and security dogs.
Give him an out.
And that, you just saw a great example there.
Out.
On that first one, this dog was about 30 feet
Okay,
from
check
Scott
him
when she gave the whoa command.
out. Yeah, we're done.
And if you run back this video, you'll see as he got to Scott, his nose went straight up in the air, his chin was bumping up against him. He literally ran into the sleeve. When I told her to call off sooner, and she did by about 15 feet, we had perfection. So anything you're doing with a patrol dog, personal protection dog, sport dog, the handler has a good job. Now, Scott's been agitating for a while. Scott, what do you think about a handler's job in this sort of thing?
That's very important because they have a link together with the dog, and they're controlling that dog. And one, for safety, but Deco's always got to be aware of what's going on. And once you build a bond with that dog, you keep working that dog, all of a sudden you become one unit. And it's very fluid. And
Yeah.
it's very important to learn how to handle a dog the right way.
Yeah. There's also a right and a wrong way to handle your dog on the street if you're actually under attack. These are all the things that we go into, with all of our security dogs. If we sell them to someone, there's a handler's course that goes with it. What do you do if 3 or 4 people attack you at one time and you got one dog? There's a tactic. There's a way to work around that. What do you do if 2 people kick your door in and come at you with guns? There's a way to handle that. So it's saving yourself on the street is a little more complicated than just some people might have you believe. So I think, Carol Ann, did we get many questions? Anything we need to answer right now? The sound is difficult.
No, turn the camera.
Turn the camera up.
They wanted the side view, but
Oh, yeah,
we had
yeah.
to do it this way.
Yeah,
I don't really see anything.
Okay.
yeah. For all of you that realize you got a different view on the camera, for some reason our camera would not flip to the landscape format. So we had to shoot everything in portrait. Hope it'll show. Next week we'll be back to our usual, but we're going to celebrate Guard Dog, second part of Guard Dog Week. We are going to have our Guard Dog Weekend. We will have, this seems, I've been told, to be the summer of the ladies. You got Tay Swift going out there making all that money, and Barbie, and so I called Taylor. She couldn't come tonight. Damn it. So Carrie said Agent Butters came in her place. So we're going to try and have more, I guess more successful women next week, so we can be more successful and make more money.
I guess.
Not really.
No.
Join us. We're going to go into textbook guard dog training step by step. With what you saw tonight, you'll be able to put the two together. Hopefully, you're going to learn some new techniques and things you hadn't thought of yet. And then next weekend, the 29th, we'll have Friday night tech lessons right here. We'll go over tactics, handling, how do you as a handler react in those situations I just mentioned. And then all day Saturday, heat allowing, we're going to be training dogs. Rick will be here, Scott will be here. I'll be here till I get real hot.
Yeah, he'll be here too.
So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope somebody sees something they liked, and I guess we'll see you folks next week. What do you think, Scott?
I think that handlers and dogs and agitators beware. It's all about the dogs, everyone. We'll see you next week.